Okay, I think we can start
Yeah.
the meeting, and let's start from the demo. There are a couple of big features that were merged last week. That is sign in, user profile, and sign out. The contributor is not present on the call, so I'll show the implementation myself. So here I am. I'm at our cloud instance, and on the top right corner, we do have a sign-in link. So when you click this link, you're asked to authorize with Adobe IMS, and after logging in, you can see your profile. There is no profile picture. We are still not sure if we'll be able to add it, because it looks like it requires a request to additional API, not IMS and not Adobe Stock, but we'll see. The manage account link is just a static link that navigates to account adobe.com/profile, the simple account, and also credentials are listed here. It's my private account, so I don't have any images or credits. If I had some, they were listed here. The number of available images for download, the number of credits for download. Also my name and email address. That's pretty much. We are not going to add anything here except for maybe the avatar picture. And yeah, if I sign out, click the sign out link, I will be logged out from Magento, and my access and request key will be deleted in the database. And also I will be signed out from the Adobe account. So if I'll go to Adobe, I will not be logged in after that operation. So to re-sign in, I can use the same link again, or actually I can start the licensing process. So the beginning at the licensing process is a login to Adobe Stock, to Adobe IMS. So after logging in, I'll have my profile in place as well. So that's actually it. That's three features: the login, the profile information, and the logout. And they are working together with license operation. So to implement these features with correct dependencies, we had to introduce a couple. So we have to reformat some of the, decouple some of the components on the front end. So right now we have a couple of new components that are designed to be used almost in every front-end component, that config component. So Adobe Stock Admin UI config, that component is used to store the general information like general selectors and URLs. And this information is set by panel block that is, and panel component that is rendering this information on rendering panel with Adobe Stock Grid. And also we have a user quota object that has images and credits. This component was created to as an addition to.
I have a quick question about the config components, and that config will be populated in the panel.js component. So as I understand correctly, our functionality will not work without the panel. Is it right?
Yes, we have to. Well, there are default values for config, but in order for our functionality to work, we'll have to render to populate the configuration. In the third-party implementations, it can be the config component can be populated. The correct configuration can be set from the panel or from any other block that is comfortable for third-party integration. So config component is just a data kind of data object that stores the data and shares the centralized data between all other components.
I believe it would be better, to resolve dependency between components and just to pass config to the component that will use it. For example, if we need to use sign-in component, that we need to provide configuration for the sign-in component, like we are doing in other, JS components in the Magento, just to pass it, by the configuration via XML.
The thing is that in case we will render the general configuration as part of sign-in component, that is just a part of all Adobe Stock components, then we'll have some duplicated information in sign-in. And, for example, image preview license component that also has to initiate a login. Like, for example, you will be able to use license component without sign-in component on the page, just the view representations, right? You will be able to skip rendering the sign-in link, but still utilize the license button. So these are view layer components that are rendering these UI elements. But behind that, we have to have a model that provides information or both those view level components.
Okay.
Yeah. So user quota component is used to store images and credits, and there is also a couple of components added in scope of Adobe IMS that are Adobe IMS configuration, configuration only used by the IMS implementation. And actually here is the login, like the difference between Adobe Stock configuration and Adobe IMS, that Adobe Stock configuration keeps the information related to Adobe Stock, like download preview URL or quota URL or image series URL, and Adobe IMS configuration has the login URL, profile URL, and stuff like that, and also parameters for login window, login pop-up window, and so on. And there is also a user object that contains user information. Currently, as we need only the name and the email, the user object indicates if the user is authorized and has name and email fields. As the number of images, number of credits are not part of the general Adobe account, but is part of Adobe Stock implementation, that is stored in a separate object in the Adobe Stock scope. Okay. So that's probably all that I wanted to say about that implementation. Do you have any questions or more comments? Okay, anyway, I'm always open for the propositions of better organization of code, maybe some refactoring ideas. So feel free to contact me or even open an issue on the GitHub with your proposal. They are very welcome. And is there any volunteers to demo any other pull requests today? Okay, good. Then, as we agreed in the previous meeting that this meeting will consist of 3 sections, let me check if Elena is here. Elena, are you muted by
Hello,
me?
guys.
Or... Yeah. Okay.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so we'd like to confirm several stories implemented, several stories that we completed the implementation, and see if they can be closed or any adjustments are needed for functionality, or any suggestions to add some updates for that. And yeah, so the first story I would like to talk about is localization. Like we had to we actually implemented this during the first milestone, but we had to prove that localization is working. That's why I'm going to switch my Magento, my account. Let me go to my, actually I can do this from here, and switch it to, no, I don't have an ability to change the interface locale. Okay, I will show that on my local Magento. Let's go through the remaining stories first. So it's Adobe Sign-In that was just displayed, the part of it. I mean, just the sign, where it is. Okay, let me return to the Adobe Stock Grid. The Adobe Sign-In link with the ability to sign in. So
I suggest actually like not to waste everyone's time, since it's basically like internal procedure. Once you have the cloud instance set up and that internal issue that needs to have a cloud resolved, you can deploy that, and I will be able to take a look on those issues and provide you comments on that.
Oh, okay. Actually, I sent you the links. Right, so you want to do this offline?
Yeah, I mean, once you have the cloud instance, I can do it myself.
Yeah, I'm on a cloud instance actually, so you can use it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, just send the link to the cloud instance and the link to stories to me to review, and I will do it.
You have the link to cloud instance and stories in Slack. That's okay. Good.
Okay,
then,
thank you.
Then probably let's jump straight into the grooming.
Yeah, let's do it. So I ask you if possible to share the GitHub wiki, because I'm remote and not convenient for me to share.
Okay. So we have a
Yeah,
face.
so since we are, yeah, okay. I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk. So who's talking? You talking? Me talking? Okay, I'll talk. So the focus of the second milestone was to enable merchants and admin panel to be able to license images in stock interface. And the third milestone that we have in this project is to enable that ability to license the previously saved preview image directly from the media gallery. So there is no need for merchant to search for the same image they already searched before and saved the preview in order to license it. So I identified several stories that belong to the phase 3, and to enable merchants to kind of license the image, we need to update the interface of the media gallery and allow to show the image views that we saved when the user saves the preview into the database. So we need to expose those attributes in user interface in the media gallery and add a license button to that interface so user can directly license the image from the media gallery. Yeah, so again, you open the first story and add in the attributes, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you go back to the attribute story?
Here it is.
Yeah. Thank you. So user is logged in admin panel and use images in media gallery. So user can select the image in the media gallery and see the attributes that applicable to all images. So that means that these attributes need to be displayed on all of the images that are stored in the media gallery, not just images that came from stock. So in this way, we unify the user experience for admin users in media gallery. So this, you can see on the screen the list of the attributes. We might change them. So this is like something that I identified from the first round. But essentially it's title, image type, the dimensions, the size of the image, creation date, and the keywords that are associated with the image, and source. So by source, we can basically separate images that came from stock and images that have been uploaded manually to the media gallery. And two attributes that are related to stock images only. So it's if image was licensed or not, and the stock ID of the image. I believe Eugene has a mock-up to share, so that would help to kind of picture what are the changes coming.
Hey, Eugene, do we have a mock-up?
Sorry, 1 second. So mockup doesn't exactly represents the story. It's very early in the process. I just posted a link in the chat if you want to look at. This is just a kind of like a general. Sorry, not in the chat, in the Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah, this represents general direction. This is not detailed interaction, but there will be like some way to view details, and I imagine details would be displayed in kind of like a sidebar inside this slide out panel. Yeah, sorry, there's not much to see here except from like each image would be would have an actionable items, and we can talk about that in later stories like licensing, etc., etc. So yeah, and view details would be among one of them.
Okay, so once view details is clicked, I believe we'll see some interface showing those attributes that are in the store.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So essentially, I understand, just like confirm if I'm on the right track here. We are going to replace the current interface that represents the media gallery in the slide out with the new component that we built for image grid and show images using that component. Is this the direction we need to go? In order to be able to extend the image details with all of that contextual information and ability to view details and all of that that we plan to add into the media gallery.
Well, theoretically, we can extend the existing media gallery, but I believe like it will be much easier and much more comfortable to work with the new Magento 2 UI components. I'm just not sure how easily the old gallery implementation can be replaced with the new Magento UI component. I believe that's backward incompatible implementation, so it has to be planned for major release.
Yep. Can we do like a research on that to understand if this is something that we can do only in backward incompatible way?
Oh, yeah, that can be discussed.
Okay, yeah, because this is like something that we need to decide in the very beginning, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah, so basically, kind of the scope of the third milestone is to show these images in the media gallery with the contextual information in the grid, being able to license the stock preview image directly from the media gallery, see the preview images that haven't been licensed yet. So Eugene just added a nice label, like showing that, hey, this is actually a preview. It's not an image that you can use on your website, on a live website. And be able to see the image attributes, kind of to understand the context of the image. And since all of that changes kind of improve the overall experience of using media gallery, we also see the opportunity to start, I called it a spin-off project. So essentially, it's just a project that deviates from stock integration project and improves the even further the user experience of the media gallery by adding ability to search images and do mass actions with images, edit the image details, and lots of stuff that helps with the basic operations in the media gallery. If this is something, obviously, you would be interested in keep working with.
Yeah, that sounds interesting for me. Like updating the media gallery. That currently looks like this. This is our desired state and even further. Good.
Okay,
So
so
those are three stories that we just saw. That's basic image attributes in media gallery. That's not only related to Adobe Stock, but for media gallery items, the ability to license image inside media gallery, that is that action, I believe, and
yeah, and this
the
action
license
also
status.
needs to be available from the the license action also will be available from the view details.
Okay. Yeah, it will be interesting to see the view details interface. So, yeah, maybe next meeting.
Yes, yeah, I will work on refining all the states of this UI.
Good. So, does it mean that these implementations, there is a part of Adobe Stock implementation in each story, and there is a part that should be delivered to Magento 2 repository, right? It should be implemented, and should it be accessible without Adobe Stock Integration installed? Like, should it be part of Magento
Yeah,
Core?
that's right. Yeah, like lots of other changes that we did during the Adobe Stock Integration project, but actually have that contribution directly into the core.
Okay, that's nice. Probably we should consider moving those attributes that we currently have in Adobe Stock Asset Table, like the general attributes, to Magento 2 Core. Yeah.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. So in terms of the timeline, I just want to give you a heads up that we are looking into the code freeze date for Magento 2.3.4, and for now the plan is to do a code freeze for all of the changes that go in this version in November 8th. So definitely it's not sooner, it might be later. So it means that all of the changes that need to be part of Magento Core, we definitely need to contribute by that day. And ideally, all of the stock integration, at least first two phases, should be done by that time. So in this way, we can bundle stock integration with Magento 2.3.4 release and make it available for GA in early January next year.
Oh, that's exciting, actually. The project is going live soon.
Yeah. So if we manage to wrap it up and structure all of the data and create the modules, this is what's coming.
Nice. Yeah, we'll definitely try to do everything we can to try and participate at Magento to release the integration together with Magento 2.3.4. I think it's real. It's realistic. We'll see.
Right? Yeah, sure.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments about the stories, our future plans? Good. Then thanks everyone for participating. Have a nice day and talk to you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend. Week.
Olena is looking for
Or the
forward
weekend.
the
I'm
weekend.
looking
Yeah.
forward for weekend.
See you later, guys.
Anyway.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.